You guys know I have evolved my business over the years to basically fit my life. I've really instead of building my life around my business, I've really built my business around my life and what works best for me. I've pivoted. I truly can't believe that I have been a real estate agent for, I think I'm on my 10th year now, somewhere around there, and I have never even really heard about using. If you would have told me that a year ago, I don't think I would have even believed that it was a legit way to get a lot of clients. But if you're in a spot in your real estate business where you just are having a hard time getting consistent lead flow, you know, maybe have another job as well and you want to go full-time in real estate, but you have just not been able to make that happen, or if you're just feeling flat out stuck in your real estate business, then you're gonna wanna stay tuned until the very end. I really believe that today's video is for you. The reason I'm making this video is because I have the opportunity to talk to agents quite often, which I just love. I really love getting to chat with and mastermind with and collaborate with and be in relationship with other real estate agents. So I have the opportunity to talk to other agents all over the US and Canada on a very consistent basis. And one thing that I hear over and over from these agents, I think it's important to know, some of these agents that I talk to are top producers in their market. They're selling more houses than me. They've been in the business longer than me. They are just crushing it, and what they're doing is working. Some of the agents, though, have been licensed for a couple years, but have really not been able to get their business going, or they're newer licensed and just have not found a consistent flow of business for themselves, if that makes sense. These are things, the things I'm gonna be sharing today are things that I really do believe are separating those that I talk to that are killing it in real estate and those that are just not able to get their business going. So a little bit of background about me real quick first. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah. I got my real estate license back in 2015, right out of high school. A couple years after I got licensed, my husband Spencer was able to quit his job and join me. We have been a husband and wife real estate team ever since, and we've spent pretty much our whole adult life running a business together. We've spent pretty much our entire adult life at this point living commission only. Real estate has been our only income, like I said, basically our entire adult life ever since he quit his job. I think he was 21 at the time. That has been the case even going through the worst real estate market, even worse than 2008, since I think 95. Over this last year, if you're not familiar with the housing market, there were less number of homes being sold than we've seen in the last 30 years. So I know everyone likes to ask realtors, what are you gonna do when the market dips? They treat it like it's not a real job. It is a real job, and yes, things might look different. Yes, you might have to cut expenses in certain areas, but it absolutely is a real job, and it is realistic to be your only income, no matter the market, up market or down market. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, you guys. That's what we're gonna talk about today. By the way, we service Salem, Oregon, and all the many surrounding areas, basically the whole Willamette Valley area of Oregon. If you're an agent in another state and you have a client relocating to Oregon, send them our way. We'd love to give you a referral fee. All right, guys, I have my tea. Grab your beverage of choice, and let's get into these tips. The first reason why you're stuck in your real estate business is because you are just focusing on the wrong things. And what I mean by that is you're focusing on views over actual leads. I was on a call with an agent the other week, and she was telling me how, she thinks things are looking up because one of her TikToks went viral. And something I hear from agents often is oh, my business isn't doing good because I'm having a hard time getting enough views on Instagram. My reels just aren't taking off, or something like that. And you guys are focusing on the wrong thing. And here's what I mean. You do not need a large following to make a good income in real estate. I would actually argue that oftentimes a larger following is going to dilute who comes to your page, if that makes sense, and you're not going to make as much money in real estate. What you need to focus on, instead of making a video that's going to reach the most amount of people, is making a video that reaches your specific target audience. And that's it. Back when my YouTube channel, my other YouTube channel that a lot of our clients come from now is, back when that channel was newer, I sold a home to $1 million buyer, which was not at the time normal in my market. I sold a home to $1 million buyer at that time who came from a video that had 20 views. And I believe the channel at the time had like 190 subscribers or something like that. It can be easy to get caught up in those like vanity metrics, but honestly, don't even look at the views. You're putting out content because you want to reach the right target audience, not because you want to go viral. Like, you are going to make way more money reaching the right people, having a smaller audience, but having the right people come to you to sell houses to them than you would if your video went viral anyway. So that's my opinion on that. You're focusing on the wrong things. The next reason you're not getting results in your real estate business is because you're spending too much time preparing, when messy action is going to get you way more results than inaction or less frequent perfect action ever would. I don't feel like I need to elaborate on that. I'm just gonna leave that right there, let that speak to however it needs to, but that is something that I truly do believe. And if you know me, you know, like, my action is pretty much all imperfect and messy, especially my marketing content that I put out there, but it still brings me consistent business. And if I waited until I looked perfect, or I felt like I looked perfect, or I felt like I, had the perfect energy, like right now, for example, I really didn't feel like making this video. I could think of a million excuses not to get this done. I do not feel the energy right now. I am not feeling like this high amount of energy by any means. You gotta just do it messy. You gotta do it imperfect, or the results are just never gonna come. The next reason why you are stuck in your real estate business, based off of these calls that I have, the agents that I get to talk to, is that you don't have systems or structure to your business. This is so important. I cannot believe how many agents I talk to that they literally just like wait and see what happens to them during their real estate day, or don't plan prospecting and marketing and lead generating into their schedule on a consistent weekly basis. Having systems and structure in your business, which again, this isn't something I'm going to elaborate on because I have done entire videos talking about different systems that I have in my business. I truly do systemize everything in my business, and I really, really believe, although most people get into the business because, especially moms, because they want freedom, they want flexibility, and while that is possible, I really believe you're gonna have the most freedom and flexibility when you also have structure and systems in place, and you're sticking to that. You've got a routine, you've got discipline in your life, and all of those things. The next reason why you're feeling stuck in your real estate business is you're not following the path of least resistance, and that might be leading to burnout. So let me just share a couple examples of the way that I do this and what works for me in my business as far as that goes. Following the path of least resistance is literally how I run my business, and in many ways, my life. I'll share a couple quick examples. One example is right now, I have professional video equipment. I have multiple professional cameras. I have professional microphones and all of that. However, am I realistically going to be putting out content every single week on multiple YouTube channels that both bring me business in different ways? Am I realistically going to be doing that if I have to set up this complicated gear and just it's this whole big thing? Maybe for you the answer is yes, but I know for a fact, as somebody who has a lot of other things going on in life besides just my real estate career, I know the answer is no. So to me, following the path of least resistance means my iPhone and my $30 Best Buy mic. And that is how I shoot all my marketing content right now. It has been for the last couple years that I've done it this way. And honestly, my clients don't care. It has not made a difference in the type of clients that I have by any means. So following the path of least resistance. Another way that this could look is I had a non-real estate related appointment last week that was in a town about 45 minutes from the town that I live in. On this same day, I had it on my schedule to get some new construction content in because that is a pillar in my business that I'm focusing on. As we all know, the type of content you put out there is going to eventually lead to the type of clients that you attract. So that's a pillar that I'm working on right now. So I knew that I wanted to get some new construction content filmed that day. So I could have said it has to be this specific neighborhood, I have to do this one first. No, I just said I'm already gonna be in this town and they have a new construction community coming up that is good enough for me to film. So since I'm already gonna be there, I'm gonna just leave an hour early to my appointment and go hit up this neighborhood on the way. So following the path of least resistance, make things easy on yourself and your schedule. By the way, guys, I thought through what I was going to share with you, and I wrote it out in the notes in my phone, and then I printed it in my really amazing printer that I just love so much that I can like literally just click a button and print right from my phone. I did that before, so if I'm reading off of this at all, that's why. But the next reason why you're not getting business is because you are not consistent, or maybe you are consistent, you have been consistent, but you haven't given it long enough. And guys, I totally understand that being consistent at something for your business for 3 months without seeing results is really, really hard. But that's what you have to do. Also, actually working for 3 months without seeing any return yet, that's really hard. Working for free for 3 months, that's not easy to do. You might be one video away from consistent leads. Okay, so here, I'll share a quick personal example on this. So I have recently implemented a new business strategy. If you've been following my YouTube channel for a while, you guys know I have evolved my business over the years to basically fit my life. I've really instead of building my life around my business, I've really built my business around my life and what works best for me. I've pivoted when I needed to pivot. I started out working a lot for sell by owners. Cold calling was my thing. Then I moved to, I eventually moved to, video marketing, relocation buyers, and now I still do that. I still get I still work with a lot of relocation buyers and do video marketing, but I've also added some other pillars to my business. So I've always been an open book and shared what's been working for me on this channel. And one of the things that I just started implementing only a couple months ago, but I have been extremely consistent at, is Facebook groups. I truly can't believe that I have been a real estate agent for, I think I'm on my 10th year now, somewhere around there, and I have never even really heard about using Facebook groups to get business. And if you would have told me that a year ago, I don't think I would have even believed that it was a legit way to get a lot of clients. But after talking to so many agents, again, why I love networking and masterminding and collaborating with agents all over the country, through doing that, I have learned that this is a legit way to get a ton of business, and a lot of agents are utilizing this, and I had never even tried it. So what I started doing was going into these Facebook groups. I'm actually only part of one or two, I think. I'm not in 7 groups. My town is also not massive, so that's why. But in a couple Facebook groups, but the key is consistency. So every single day I am in these groups. One of these groups is a local moms group, okay? So it's not real estate related, it's just local moms in my town, okay? And what I've been doing is every day I look through this Facebook group and see, is there anything I can contribute to the conversation? It doesn't take me long, but if there is something I can say, if someone asks a question and I can answer it somehow or give my opinion and advice, because that's what you do in these Facebook groups, then I do. And every now and then in these mom local Facebook groups, there's other Facebook groups, by the way, you can join and do this too. It doesn't have to be moms, but every now and then, not all the time, every once in a while, a mom will comment in this Facebook group and say something like, I'm relocating to the area soon. Do you guys have any suggestions for a good hairstylist, a good, daycare for my kids or whatever? And so, of course, when somebody says in this Facebook group that they're moving to the area soon, a zillion and one real estate agents are going to be commenting on their post right away saying, oh, if you need an agent, I'm here to help you, or they're gonna or their friends are gonna tag them in it and all of that. So I know a lot of people would be like, why even bother? There's so much competition. But what I've been doing on a consistent basis is I will take out my phone immediately, however I look at that time, which every single time I've done this, I have looked horrible because it's been one of my off work days where I'm not really working, I'm not meeting with any clients intentionally, and my hair's in a messy bun, I'm not really wearing makeup, I'm wearing sweatpants. It is not a professional look. But I actually think that's to my advantage because I think it makes you less intimidating and they want to work with you more. They see oh, you're a real person, you're not this made up person, whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. I think that's how people work generally in their brains. But anyway, so I send them a video immediately. I message them a video to make me stand out from the competition, just saying hey, I just saw your post. Here's some recommendations for what you asked for. By the way, if you do want to buy a house, I would love to work with you. My husband and I are a team here. Here's our lender's information. Please let me know, how we can help. Something like that. Okay. So I send them that message. And guys, this is something there's a point to all of this. I feel like I'm off on a tangent right now, but I will circle back around. Okay. So my whole point in all of this is you're not giving it enough time or you're not being consistent enough. So I had been very consistent because my whole thing is like, if I'm going to do something, I'm 100% in and I'm going to be consistent. I will not miss a day, or I'm not going to do it at all. I'm going to bag it. I will not touch it. That's kind of how my brain works. So I was all in on this. And I was kind of getting to the point where I was like, okay, I've been doing this for a while. I haven't seen anything from it yet. So I feel like I should maybe stop and move on to what I know works and just stick with YouTube, because that's where I get my clients, and I know that it works because I've seen results from it. And it's really hard to keep doing something when you haven't seen results. However, I finally had this person after, by the way, I add these people too as my friend, which you might think is kind of creepy, but I don't care, because then I'm constantly in their face again. They're seeing my consistent consistent Facebook videos with like homebuyer tips and stuff. So there's a whole strategy behind this, guys, but this is new to me and I hadn't seen results yet. So I was getting to that point in my business where I was like, I think I'm going to bag this because I have not seen anything from it yet. And I'm not here to waste my time. So I tried it, on to the next thing. And lo and behold, the gal that I messaged finally reached back out and was like, you know what? We're going to use you. There were like 30 agents commenting on her, on her post. I'm sure others messaged her too. However, I may have been the only one that sent her a picture, or not a picture, a video, a live video, just wherever I was at, of my lovely face. And so I really think that's what set me apart. And we ended up doing a buyer consultation. They're ready to buy right away. So my whole point in saying all this is, you're not getting results because you either aren't consistent enough, which that was not my problem, I was consistent, or you are consistent, but you have not given it enough time. And guys, I think that things take a lot longer than we expect, unfortunately, in business, but especially in real estate. Okay, we're gonna start talking really fast and zippity zoom through this because the sun is going down, and I got another video to film right after this for my YouTube channel that brings me the business. So we gotta get through this. But the next reason why you're stuck in your real estate business is because you're scared, but you're not really scared. Here's what I actually think is going on in your brain psychologically is your why isn't big enough, okay? When you're a 40-year-old stay-at-home mom and you get your real estate license and you've had one income for the last 20 years or however many years, whatever, you've been married, I think that you're not gonna do, and nothing, nothing wrong with that if that's you. If you're in that boat, don't be offended. But I'm just saying, if you're in that position, you're not gonna do the scary things that somebody who is in a position where they need to feed their family, or they have to do this, or whatever other situation it might be, you're not going to do those things. Something that I really realized is that if your why is big enough, if your need is big enough, all of a sudden your excuses kind of go away. The excuses you had of oh, I couldn't do this because I can't do an open house this weekend, I have my kid with me and I have no childcare. All of a sudden that excuse goes out the door and you're going to think of a way to bring your kid and make it work. Or if you I don't know, if you're scared of posting on, this was me for a long time. You don't want to post on your Instagram story. You have no problem making videos for YouTube because that's your target audience. They like you, they're your friends. But you don't want to post on your Instagram story because everyone you know sees it, and that's just not really what you're going for. You don't want them to get the wrong idea. Well, if you have a goal or something that's so big in you that you have to accomplish, all of a sudden that fear is going to go away and you're going to care a lot more about just getting those deals and making that bread and posting those videos on your story, even if people think it's dumb or talk about you behind your back. You're not going to care anymore because that's going to be way more important. But if you're comfortable, then you're not going to do it. The next reason why you're stuck in your real estate business is because you don't really want it. You're not hungry enough for it. You're not really willing to do what it takes to make it happen. This kind of goes along with what I just said, but if you're in a position where you're comfortable and you don't really have to sell these houses, you'll be just fine if you don't. The bills will still get paid. Then you're probably going to just stay comfortable and not do the things that you're scared to do. I remember when I was a brand new agent, my principal broker would always comment about how I was fearless, and other agents would ask her in the office like why I was so fearless and didn't seem to have fear. And the thing is, I didn't even really have time to think about the fear of like making cold calls, getting hung up on, getting cussed out, because like those things don't happen a lot, but they do happen, or door knocking. I didn't really have time to think about it because my why, I had a really big why behind me. And part of my why was I got married young. I knew like my husband and I are gonna need somewhere to live, and he was not making very much money. Like that was a big part of my why. Another big part of my why was I knew someday when I had kids, which ended up only being a couple years later after getting my license, but once I became a mom, I knew I wanted to massively be able to pull back in my business and be a stay-at-home mom and still sell houses, be an entrepreneur, but do it more on my own time and my own terms instead of how my business looked back then. And that was what motivated me, and that has been able to happen. But knowing that back then and having that clear vision of what I wanted and knew that I needed to make happen, that is what made it worth it to me and helped me make so many sacrifices, say no to hanging out with my friends a lot, and work instead, and miss out on things sometimes, and work really, really long hours. And I'm thankful that I did when I was 18, 19, 20, because 21, because once I did become a mom at right after I turned 23, I was able to have a much different life, if that makes sense, than I did in the earlier years. So that could be the reason why you're not getting business. If you're in a position where you have to make it happen, I think all of a sudden you realize, wait, I can get up before my kid, or work after my kid goes to bed. Like I can take that time and do that. And I've been in that position as well. So I hope that this video helped you. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, because I come on here consistently with new videos. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to these chit chats, episodes, whatever you want to call them, as a podcast as well over on Spotify using the link below. And I'll see you guys soon. By the way, guys, one more thing to add. We talked about having consistency and schedule and structure to your business and treating it like a business. And it's wild to me how many agents don't do that. And you guys, if you're gonna have consistent business, if this is gonna be your only source of income, you gotta treat it like a business. That doesn't mean you're working all the time. My husband and I are full-time realtors. It is our full-time living. Neither of us work even probably part-time. We've gone through seasons where we, hustle more and then we pull back, and we just took 4 months off and, left the country. So what I'm trying to say is having structure and systems and consistency and a strict schedule in your business does not mean that it has to be that you're working all the time, but it will bring so much order and peace and consistent lead flow to your business. I live by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it's not gonna happen. I schedule everything, even things that are not real estate related. I schedule things that are, this is very important to me, to schedule things that are important but non-urgent. That could be my 15-minute Pilates workout video that I do every morning. That could be a 2-mile walk with my daughter. That could be reading to my daughter for an hour that day. Those things are important to me, but they're not urgent, but I put them on my schedule. That could be, play day, or honestly just Xing out this day this week, or these 2 days or 3 days, or however many days I need that week to just be at home with my daughter and not really have anything going on and enjoy that extremely slow day together. So anyway, that's all that goes onto the schedule. So that's all that I have to say about that. I just felt like I needed to add that in there and just show you guys. I have a calendar and I live by it. I put everything in my phone. So I do use my phone calendar as well, my Google Calendar. But on top of my Google Calendar, I also have a written calendar, and my life and my calendar flow and mesh.